Good morning. Good morning. It's Danny Cobbin, 1-1 Coaching, and we are live. I was sitting here and really thinking about what is it that I want people to know today? Do I want to talk about my experience of the weekend? Do I want to talk about my experience of just life generally? Do I want to help people to see something specifically? And what really came to my mind, what really I want to share with you guys is how we don't know what a situation means even down the road. So I heard this story once of this farmer, and I don't know the exact details, but I'm gonna tell it to you the best that I can remember it. And there was this farmer, and the farmer had a son, and the son was out, and he was just hanging out with his dad, chilling. And outside they had horses, and they had cows and cattle. They had lots of land. Well, their prized horse ran off, and everybody in the village was like, y'all are unlucky right now because your prized possession has ran off. And the father was kind of like, I don't know. And a few weeks later, the prize horse comes back with a mare. I believe that's a female horse. That's how little I know about horses, but that's not important to the story. The mare is this beautiful mare, and they end up producing children. But before that, the dad, everybody in town was like, hey, yeah, you're a lucky man. You've now got this horse. Like, the son then goes out to train the horse, and wild, just crazy, and the son falls off, and the horse falls on the son, and then the son breaks his leg. Everybody's like, hey, like, you might be in a bad situation right now. Dad's like, I don't know. Well, then it's wartime and people are coming around for the draft, but the son's foot's broken, so he can't go to war. And everybody's like, oh, look at you. You're fortunate, right? And he's like, well, we'll see. And what I love about that story is the fact that at every opportunity to be elated or sad or up or down, the father wasn't worried about that. What was his concern, what was truly on his mind was, how am I right now in this moment? Like, it doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. What matters is what goes on the inside. And that reminds me of this weekend a little bit. And what happened was, my daughter that's here, she's like, hey, Danny. She did not call me Danny, but she's like, hey, Dad, you were a little off this weekend. This was a trip back home. And then Courtney, day one, was like texting Morgan saying, hey, I don't know what's going on with Danny, but he's not his normal self. And like, as I reflect on what was going on, I realized sometimes there's not much for us to say as parents other than to be present and take in anything that we can. Could I have talked more? I'm sure I could have. Could I have talked less? I'm sure that I could have. But what I find important is that my son is telling people about our video game play, which I did lose. But at the same time, like, that brings joy to my heart. I got to hear almost everything that my daughter's going through, but it wasn't even about my daughter seeing me and me seeing my daughter, although I loved it. It was about her seeing her sister that she has not seen. That's what I was paying attention to all weekend. The feeling in the room. And were there words that could have changed the situation, could have made it better? Maybe, maybe not. But what I know is it felt perfect. And that's what I want you guys to take away from this, is it doesn't matter what's going on. Like, the outside circumstances are the outside circumstances. But we get to choose in every moment what we pay attention to, where we put our focus. And that's what I want for you. So, no action items today. Just find that space. and enjoy it.